You flick your wrist, and this turns on. This is a review of the SleepU Sleep Oxygen Monitor. You know what this is, where it tests your blood oxygen concentration from 99 and under, and many of us have those ones they stick on the end of your finger. This is one that is designed for any kind of sleep problem, but specifically sleep apnea, and it will monitor your blood oxygen concentration in real time all night long. Now let's look how this is put on. I've used this for a month now, doing this one-handed, awkward position with the video. Now that piece goes like that. This goes on the thumb. And then this, always like any kind of USB. Now I just plugged it in. The first thing it'll do is show the time. It vibrates if it's on alarm. I'm going to show what that means in a moment. And you see right there, 97% and 83 beats a minute. Here is the entire device. And it literally is that easy. This is an awkward looking device. I was concerned about it when I saw it. And I thought, can I really wear something like that all night? Yes, I can, and I have for a month. And at first I thought, there's no way I can sleep with this thing on. This rubber is really stretchy. I was worried about this getting caught on something. Worried about this. It works flawlessly. There, we see the device isn't turned on. Now here's one of my favorite features in the middle of the night. I'll talk about it in a moment when I get to the positives, and it has to do with the alarm system that comes with this. But if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're not sure why, all you have to do is flick your wrist, and this turns on. And it turns on for just a couple seconds, so you can do a sanity check to see is your blood oxygen concentration where you want it. Just that basic flick of the wrist is one of my favorite features. I had to look very deep for negatives on this device. So here's some that are maybe mildly negative. Another one is battery life. You get maybe 2 days at most on this. Related to that is you can only store 4 days worth of data. So if you're somehow going through some kind of event where you're out of the reach of your phone, you only get 4 days worth of data that you can store. Another one is this. You can hardly see it right here, but let me check if I turn the light off. This red light you see here, well, I'll tell you what, in the middle of the night, when you take, and if you just happen to move your hands close to your face, this can wake you up. That's pretty bright, you get that near your face. And I would say another negative is, I'm somebody that wears a tinfoil hat. This is a Bluetooth device. They should have Bluetooth devices that allow us to turn the Bluetooth on and off. My understanding from what I read is this is Bluetooth continuously on. Other devices like this Bluetooth device, high piece of technology here, this Oura Ring, has the ability to turn it off and collect all of its data and then turn the Bluetooth on when you want to sync later. This one, of course, syncs continuously because Bluetooth is always on. A minor complaint relative to what this can do for people with some type of sleep obstruction problem, but just be aware Bluetooth's on. Considerations. This right here, this little piece of rubber, the way that it stretches like this, I don't know how this is going to work long term. This is critical when it comes to keeping the connection on your finger. And it's obviously designed one size fits all. I have a thin finger for somebody my size. If another man's got a really thick finger, this might be a little tight. Now, when I first put this on, I was like completely aware of it and thought there's no way I can sleep. You know, first half an hour I was fine, and I haven't noticed it since. So I'm just wondering how long this will last. This feels really solid and rubbery, but there might be some risk there. This is not for day use. Another consideration some people might not be used to. This is not an athletic device for day use. This is just designed for night. This is the only other consideration, is that sometimes syncing up after you put it on can take a minute or more. Oh, there we go right there. And you saw that in real time when I took it off to check the stretch before it re-engaged. What are the positives on this device? I can't say enough good things about how well this works. When I was younger, I would beta and alpha test every piece of hardware or software I could find. If it came to technology, I wanted to play with it. I have since grown a bit impatient with that, and when I buy something, I want it to work. For 30 days, this has worked flawlessly. Every morning it gives me my readout. You'll see the software. Again, the software is basic, tells me what I did throughout the night. The alarm system I'll talk about in a moment. It just does what it's supposed to. Again, awkward looking, but very solid and works flawlessly. Especially if you consider this, now they don't advertise it this way, but if you consider this to be a near medical device. You have sleep apnea, and let's talk about that right now. What is the best feature of this? The best feature is you can set an alarm. Look at sleep apnea. Look at any kind of sleep obstruction. Look at maybe somebody that has pneumonia or somebody that has anything that impairs your ability to breathe. You can set an alarm on this at whatever percentage, say anything under 88%. And when you hit 88%, you have 5 settings, you will get an alarm that goes off that will wake you up. Now, there's 2 purposes for that. The first is you want to be aware that you've dropped that low, as opposed to your partner waking you up because you're gasping and or you're literally not breathing, or you find yourself waking up with your heart racing and you can't breathe, is it wakes you up. The second most important feature is that you can condition yourself. So this will wake you up. You find that you're sleeping in a position that you don't understand, and you change your body position. And eventually, as the nights go on, you can condition yourself to wake up when some type of symptom hits you, and then you can learn to sleep the right way. How do you sync this device? You can see it right there. You simply do this. You'll see a 10-second countdown because it wants to make sure you're serious or you weren't accidentally disconnected. And then when the countdown's through, you'll see right there, saving, and there's the app. Again, a Bluetooth connection to your phone takes around 20 or 30 seconds, and you have your data. This has got first-generation software. It's perfectly adequate for what it does. Like they've come up with some algorithms, like the O2 score. Things where they're doing calculations based on comparing one night to the other. That's fine, but as first generation software, I find the software to be a little bit limited, but that will always improve. So all in all, this is one of the better devices I've used in some time. The SleepU Sleep Oxygen Monitor by Wellue